Ukraine's troops have withdrawn from the strategic city of Lysychansk. Russia says it now controls the entire region of Luhansk. Kyiv denies carrying out a series of attacks across the Russian border, which have reportedly left at least 4 dead.
Let's turn our attention to Ukraine, where the military has confirmed that the eastern city of Lysychansk has fallen to Russian forces.
It was the last city in the Luhansk region being defended by Ukraine. Our Eastern Europe correspondent Sarah Rainsford has sent this report.
The capture of Lysychansk was a moment for Russian forces to celebrate. But their backdrop was another Ukrainian city in ruins. Russia has been pushing through the eastern Donbass for weeks, blasting Ukrainian positions in a slow but deadly advance. Vladimir Putin calls this a war of liberation. Ukraine says it's obliteration. Its own forces have been defending with everything they've got. But they say they need more because Russia's firepower is overwhelming them. A businessman, a mechanic and a medic before the war. 3 men who volunteered to fight when Vladimir Putin invaded their country.
Russians like tactic to destroy all of city or village totally.
Everyone is afraid to die. Everyone is afraid of explosions. We want to protect our families, friends, wives from terrible scenes that Russians do with our citizens in Irpin, Bucha, Gostomel, Mariupol. We cannot let this happen again.
So you'd go back to the Donbass?
We haven't any choice. We must do it.
There is now deadly fallout from this war in Russia too. Moscow says these blasts are from shooting down Ukrainian missiles fired across the border. 4 civilians were killed. That's nothing like the number dying in Ukraine every day, but it is a sign that not everything's going to Vladimir Putin's plan. Sarah Rainsford, BBC News, Kyiv.
And Joe, how significant is this moment in this crisis for Ukraine?
I think it is significant. It is a loss for Ukraine, but it's a loss I think many people here had expected. Lysychansk's sister city, Severodonetsk, had already fallen, and the Russians were moving to encircle. They were putting heavy pressure on. And I think the Ukrainians, while seeing this as a loss, will see it as less of a setback than it would have been had their forces been completely encircled. Because what the Ukrainians are saying is that this was what they call a fighting retreat, a withdrawal under fire, but returning fire as well. So it was not a rout. And I think the biggest fear was that the Russians would achieve their aim of encircling and creating what they call a cauldron around their forces, which would have been fatal for many, many people there. So what they've said is this retreat was done to save lives, and they'll pull back to new positions. Of course, for the Russians, this is a success. This is a key part of their aim, was to take this region called the Luhansk region, the Luhansk Oblast, and taking Lysychansk means they have now completed that part of their objective. But I don't think this is going to be end. They're going to be pushing on to the Donetsk now to try and take the entirety of the Donbass.